Good day, everyone. So we are here in Chocolate Hills to do our social experiment.
Alan. Oh, may mas?
Kumaw kalo. Kuha yung sa ano sa gitna.
Tapos yung heart na kuha.
That's the most important bit.
Ay, nabutol dyan. Oh, then what is that? Told you. What do you mean told you already here? Or not? Let me We almost done.
我已经看了，你说他看到了，真的。
A few moments later.
In our social experiments that we have done, we have seen and observed things that have added to our knowledge of how to interact with other people. It is when you somehow realize that not all people will ignore you, that there is still some people, even though they don't know you or you're a stranger to them, but still they choose to walk towards you, then hug you all of the sudden. What we have done is not very easy to us, knowing that some of us is not good in interacting or socializing to others. The sweat, fear, shame, hopeless, and those parts that you feel so sorry to yourself when no one came to hug is very difficult, but we manage to stand and smile even in our face mask on. But when some strangers walk towards us and then hug us even though they didn't know if we were good or bad is very satisfying. All the fear, shame, and self-pity disappeared. It is a very heartwarming scenario for us. And indeed, it is a good experience for all of us.
Hi, good day. In my experience in participating in social experiment where I intentionally held doors open for others public in spaces, provide me with a unique insight into both societal behavior and my own assumptions and reactions. At first, I was curious to see how people would react. Would they acknowledge me or ignore it? To my surprise, the response were widely. Some people smiled at me and said thank you, and others walked through without acknowledgement. A few even seemed confused or suspicious. This variation made me realize that how unpredictable and complex human social behavior can be, with some things as simple as holding door. From my personal standpoint, I noticed my own internal reaction changed. When someone expressed gratitude, I felt sense of warmth and validation, and also happy because they acknowledged me, and thanks because I held doors for them. Then there are also someone ignored my gesture. I sometimes felt disappointed or irritation. Even though I knew the act would be selfless, this revealed my unconscious expectation for social reciprocity. city that I realized that not all people are acknowledge you. There are some ignore your gesture without acknowledgement. So the experiment also made me more mindful of how small acts of kindness affect public space. I saw how one polite gesture could shift the mood of a brief interaction in a world that often feels rushed and disconnected. Holding a door open became a small but meaningful form of social connection. Most importantly, the experiment challenged my assumptions. I expected universal appreciation for the gesture, but I learned that um, individual perspectives, cultural backgrounds, or daily moods heavily influenced how such acts are received. I now better understand the importance of performing kind acts without attaching personal expectation. So, overall, this social experiment became a powerful reminder for me of the value of mindfulness, the importance of empathy, and the ways we impact those around us. And I hope that it also remind us to be a better person every day.
Children with their innocent eyes often reflect the truth of our society. They see us, yet they are taught to look away. What does this teach them about compassion, about empathy? In a world that often turns a blind eye, invisible to many, today we step into the shoes of those who are often overlooked, judged, and misunderstood. As we sit here, we can feel the weight of their gazes. Some look away, unable to confront the reality before them. Others stare, their eyes filled with curiosity, confusion, or even disdain. Every face tells a story, some filled with pity, others with disgust. But what if we pause to consider our own humanity? What if we recognize that behind every pair of eyes is a life, a struggle, a story waiting to be heard? But for many, we are merely a nuisance, a reminder of the struggles they wish to ignore. And that's how people see us. Some people choose to help, offering a meal, a moment of humanity and connection in a sea of indifference. These small acts remind us that kindness still exists. As you watch this, remember, empathy costs nothing, but it can change everything. Let's choose to see each other not as strangers, but as a fellow human beings. This shows important insights about how people react to poverty. Some individuals were kind and offered food, showing their empathy and willingness to help. Others seem curious or judgmental, revealing the common stereotypes about homelessness. Some people ignored the situation altogether, which may reflect a desensitization to poverty. This experience highlights the need for compassion and understanding in our communities. It also encourages us to think about our own attitudes toward those in need and remind us that even small acts of kindness can make a difference.